And welcome into Believe Me right here on Stadium TV. My name is Cam Rogers. That man right there is Clay Harbor, former NFL tight end. No Brandon Lang this week, but we do have his picks for the NBA playoffs this weekend. Clay, my man, welcome to the show, sir. Excited for some more betting insight here.
Oh, it's always a good time. I think Brandon had to leave because, I beat him so bad last week that he said, I don't think I want to come on. I can't see Clay. There's no chance that Clay is going to let me live this one down because he came back, he tied up the series, and now Brandon Lang and myself are even in the betting world. Let's go.
Brandon's getting scared, Clay. To your point, you both are now tied in our game picks this year, but let's also note that we are both sub 500 here, Brandon and you and me. Actually, I'm worse than the two of you, but we are going to turn it around here on the show and make you some money at home. All right, Clay, let's get into the top story here. Some breaking news this week. Tiger Woods undergoing foot surgery to treat post-traumatic arthritis from a prior injury. That likely from the car crash, the leg injury back in 2021. He pulled out of the Masters due to re-aggravation of plantar fasciitis. I did not necessarily believe that. I said it on this show that you don't re-aggravate plantar fasciitis from walking. It's usually high-impact stuff, running, that sort of thing. So the rehab begins. No timetable right now, but it sounds like it's going to be at least 3 months. So that means probably no Tiger for the rest of 2023. Clay, when you saw this news, and of course, adding on to the fact that we saw him struggle at the Masters on the weekend, what did you make of everything?
It's like I said, Cam, I have a bad feeling this might be the last we've seen of Tiger Woods. The guy's had an incredible run, but at 47 years old, you don't recover the way you used to. And coming back from these surgeries, the guy's struggling to walk. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to see him in a competitive environment on a golf course where he can play 18 holes back to back to back to back days again. So unfortunately, I think this is just another piece of info that gives us an idea that Tiger might be done. And if he is, I'm glad that I got to witness him. He's a special player. He's a special golfer. He's just a special athlete. He's a football player. As an NFL player, Tiger Woods is on in the locker rooms. We're all gathered around watching golf. None of us want to play golf. We like fast plays. He transcended the game. We all know about injuries and everything, but I hope he can come back and really just keep this incredible story going. But at 47 years old, I think this might be the end of Tiger Woods as far as competitive golf.
The timeline of his surgeries and injuries over the last decade is pretty remarkable here, Clay. So we've got the ankle fusion surgery just a few days ago, plantar fasciitis back in 2022, leg surgery from the accident, 2021, back surgery that same year, spinal fusion surgery back in 2017, and a couple of more back surgeries, 2015, 2014. You have to wonder, Clay, and obviously you went through your fair share of injuries as an athlete. Is Tiger's medical staff now telling him it's time to hang it up? And do you think that's the smart decision in terms of just retiring in general here?
I think he's got some people in his ears telling him to hang it up. I had 9 surgeries in my life, Cam. 9, count them, 9 surgeries. And I, as a guy that's, I don't play anymore, but those take a toll on you. Sometimes waking up, it's hard to get out of bed in the morning. I mean, some things I can still get to the gym. You get the body moving, and at some points I'll be like, man, I think I could probably play football again. Like, I feel great. But there are some days where I go, okay, you got out at the right time, because if I felt any worse than this, I'm not sure I could even live a normal life with some of the injuries you have in Tiger with all these surgeries. And we're talking back to back to back years here. I mean, 2021, 2022, 2023 now. He's had a lot of surgeries, and those add up. And as an athlete, I know it's really difficult to say goodbye to your sport, but if he wants to be able to be a dad, run around with his kids, and I don't want to go that route, but I think he's got to give it up at some point and just look back and say, hey, I had a heck of a career. I'm going to teach my son now. You see his son coming up, could be the next Tiger
Watch out for
Woods.
Charlie. Yeah.
He's got that swing. So I think you invest in your children, your son. You find some hobbies that aren't going to affect your body negatively, that are going to improve it. And, that's what I did, and that's how I was able to overcome my departure from the NFL after 9 years, 4 years in college, 4 years in high school, something that really becomes a part of your life.
Well, I don't know if the fat lady is singing yet, per se, but I do think she is warming up her vocals, because we could be heading toward the end here for Tiger Woods. Hopefully that is not the case. Selfishly, I want more of him out there on the PGA Tour, but to your point, Clay, he has to think about the mundane things in life, playing with his kids, teaching Charlie to play golf, all those things. So we'll see what happens for Tiger as we go forward. All right, let's pivot to the NBA. So much to break down. We've got games here on the show, Clay. But first, Draymond Green's suspension here. 1 game with the Warriors. By the way, the last time that Draymond got suspended in the playoffs, the Warriors went to the NBA Finals, went up 3-1, and then lost to the Cavs. That is neither here nor there. But as far as this year, Clay, how does this affect things? And what do you think about this suspension?
You look at the stats, like obviously Draymond isn't what he used to be. He's averaging under 10 points a game. He's not the guy. But Draymond is an emotional leader on this team. The Warriors team, it's Clay, it's Steph, and it's Draymond. The same 3 guys have been doing it over and over and over again. He's an emotional leader. So having him gone is tough. And he's a great defender. He could be in the defensive player of the year conversation. To me, I honestly feel like it was unfair. I think Sabonis, you watch the play, Sabonis put this guy's ankle in an ankle lock. I thought I was watching an MMA fight. He puts him in an ankle lock.
Saturday night fight night, baby.
Obviously, Draymond shouldn't step on him like that, and it's repeat offense. But if Sabonis doesn't grab my man's ankle, my man's not going to step on him. If Draymond's suspended, Sabonis needs to be suspended too.
Right.
That's unfair. Take it case by case. You don't talk about prior history here when we're talking about this year's NBA playoffs, and you put the Warriors in a really tough position defending NBA champions here. This isn't some scrub team that you want to make a statement on. This is a team that's probably its last year to have an opportunity to win an NBA championship again, an end of an era, and you're gonna potentially waste it, ruin it on this play and not suspend Sabonis when he's the guy that started the whole altercation. I think it's a big loss. I don't see how they can win without Draymond's energy, his emotional factor that he brings to this team, and his defense. So it's sad to see. I think this is the end of the Splash Brothers and my namesake. Spelled differently, but Klay Thompson, has always been my guy because his name's Klay.
Yeah, going down 0-3 obviously is going to be a gut punch. Without Draymond there in that game 3, we'll see what happens. For the Warriors, the Kings have been a surprise, so I am rooting for them as we go here in the NBA playoffs. Clay, it's time to pick some games. Let's talk about the Cavs taking on the Knicks. This one in Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are laying 2 in this one. The series is knotted up at 1-1. Cavs winning game 2 most recently. The Knicks are 19-16 against the spread when favored by 2 or more. Cavs are 6-8 ATS when underdogs by 2 points or more this year. Clay, a big trend so far in the NBA playoffs. The favorites are winning and the favorites are covering. What are you doing here?
Here I'm going to go with the Cavs. I think, I think the Knicks, they're in a good position. They're going home. They're 23-18 at home. They actually the Knicks are going home, correct?
Yeah, this will be in New York.
Yes, and the Knicks are actually a better team on the road than at home this year. So they're worse at home than they are on the road. So I'm taking the Cavs. Brunson is 5-12, 5-17 yesterday. RJ Barrett 4 for 13. The Cavs are an under 500 team on the road, but at 2021. But I still think they pull this one out. Julius Randle has been shooting 37% from the field so far this series. He's only put up 7 free throws. I mean, if the Knicks want to win, he's going to have to get to the line a little more. I love Donovan Mitchell. I'm taking the Cavs.
Yeah, I think this line is short. Brandon, by the way, is with you. He's going Cavs plus the 2. I'll take the Cavs plus the 2 as well. This defense is fantastic, and they really showed out in game 2 against New York. So we're all in agreement there. Cavs plus the 2 in game 3. Okay, Nuggets and Timberwolves. This one in Minnesota. Timberwolves are getting 2.5 in this matchup. The Nuggets are up 2-0. Nuggets are 29, 27, and 1 against the spread as 2-point favorites. Timberwolves are 21 and 16 in their last 37 games as an underdog of 2 points or more. Are you going with the home dog in this one, Clay?
No, I think I'm going to have to go with the Nuggets. I like how the T-Wolves, they put up a great fight. They came back in that third quarter. They were down 21. They came back and took the lead for a minute. People just look at the final score and they think that the Nuggets cruised. The Nuggets earned this one, but Jamal Murray, it was just too much. 41 points. Jokic, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, almost had a triple-double. I mean, these guys are playing. In Minnesota, they shot over 80% in the third quarter. They're not going to be able to do that again. I love Anthony Edwards. I love Rudy Gobert. But Karl Anthony Towns, he was 3 for 12. He's got to stop thinking he's a three-point shooter. This guy's huge. You're 6'10", 6'11". Take the ball to the hole. You're not a three-point shooter. Come on, cat. Stop playing like a cat. Play like a dog. Let's go. And I don't think he's going to. I think Denver runs away with this. They're the better team. I'm taking the Nuggets.
You don't see a scenario where maybe the Timberwolves steal one at home, or do you think that this could be a clean sweep here for Denver?
I think this is a sweep. They took their best shot. They took one on the chin. The Nuggets did, and they're a championship team. They've been here before. I think Jamal Murray is just playing great basketball instead of Rudy Gobert just sitting back on the screens and letting Jamal Murray shoot. You can't do that. You're going to have to really change your defensive strategy. Karl Anthony Towns got to realize that he's not Steve Kerr. You're not 6'3" three-point shooter, and start taking the ball to the hole. I mean, they could cover the spread, but I don't see him winning a game, especially with Jokic playing the way he is. He's hitting threes. He's assisting. He's getting rebounds. He's showing why he's still in this MVP discussion. I mean, I'm taking Denver all day.
B. Lang is taking Minnesota plus the 2.5. And Clay, I think I am going in that direction. Sometimes Vegas sort of tells the story with the line plus the 2.5. I'm going to take that. It sounds trappy on the other end, minus 2.5 with Denver. I think Minnesota gets one game. And I think that's the game right there.
Only 2 points. And this is, come on. Denver versus Minnesota, an only 2-point game?
This is the NBA, Clay.
This is my lock of the week, and I'm glad because I'm picking up a game on you, and I'm picking up a game on B. Lang. This is my lock of the week, and I will tell B. Lang that whenever he gets back here.
Lock City. All right, we'll see what happens there. Next game on the list, Bucks and Heat. Big spread, home dog are the Miami Heat, plus 5.5. This series is tied 1-1. Milwaukee's ATS record as 5-point favorites or more, 24, 15, and 3. That's really good. Miami's ATS record as a 5-point underdog or greater, 4-7. That ain't great. This screams Bucks, but Clay, what are you doing here?
Come on, man. This don't scream Bucks. This don't scream Bucks at all. This screams Heat.
Wow.
No, this screams Bucks. I'm
okay. I was like, what?
I am taking the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks had 7 players over 13 points. 7 players over 13 points. That is a team. That is what a team is supposed to look like. You missed the MVP, the NBA's top 5 leading scorer, one of the best players in the game. You still win this game. Lopez and Holiday, 49 combined points. 2 veteran guys that stepped up big. You love watching those guys. But the surprise, the Bucks hit 25 three-pointers, Cam. That ties an NBA record. Okay, wow. You don't even know these guys' names. Joe Ingles and Pat Connaughton, 11 of 16 for three-pointers for 39
That's embarrassing
points.
For the Heat. Embarrassing.
Unreal. These 2 guys 11 of 16 from the three-point line with 39 points. You didn't have Giannis in the game, and they still won. Okay? The Bucks went 10-3 last year with a spread over 4 points. I think I'm taking the Bucks all the way. And we don't even know if Giannis is going to play. If Giannis plays, if he doesn't, I'm still taking the Bucks, but I'm going to count on Giannis being here this game.
Yeah, he was close to playing actually there in game 2, so it sounds like he will be good to go for game 3. Of course, Brandon taking the points with the Heat, 5.5. Clay, I'm with you, my man. I'm eating the chalk here with the Bucks. Their record right now, ATS, as a 5-point favorite or more, really, really good. I will lay the points with the Bucks on the road. With you, Clay, on that one. Tough series to predict by a game-by-game basis here. Grizzlies, Lakers. The series knotted up at 1. The Lakers have been good ATS as 4.5-point favorites or more. 9-5. They are laying that number, 4.5 at home. Memphis, 2-5 ATS when 4.5-point dogs or more. Clay, you were on the Lakers last week. Are you sticking with them?
Am I sticking with them? I mean, that's a tough question. I'm going Lakers, okay?
Okay.
I'm going Lakers, but I do like this Grizzlies team, even without Ja Morant. You know, I think one of the most underrated guards in the season is Tyus Jones. I mean, the guy can play. He's got the best assist to turnover ratio in the last 5 years in the NBA. This guy, in my opinion, they don't miss much when obviously Ja Morant's a crazy player. He can go off, he can take over a game, but Tyus Jones can facilitate. He protects the basketball. He knows how to assist. He's one of the best guards in the league. Who's Xavier Tillman, though? Like, where's this guy come from? Go 10 for 13 for 22 points and 13 rebounds? I mean, come on. Luke Kennard, 54% from the three-point line, hit 4 threes for the Grizzlies. I mean, these guys can play. Dylan Brooks poking the bear, coming after LeBron, talking trash.
How about that?
He called LeBron old. So I do love this Grizzlies team. This is my one matchup where it's tough. I'm not sure. They don't got Ja. They don't got Brandon Clark. This is a tough one. Jaren Jackson, Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
They looked really good in game 2, though. The Grizzlies did.
They looked great. But Anthony Davis is not going to go 4 for 14 again.
Right.
He's not going to go 4 for 14 again. I think Anthony Davis comes back strong. LeBron comes back strong. We are going back to LA. I'm going back to Cali. Let's go. We're going back to LA. I'm taking the Lakers. LeBron, AD's not going 4 for 14 again. They're going to come back. They're going to show why. They still got some gas in the tank. I am taking the LA Lakers. They're the LA Lakers, not the LA Fakers. Let's go. LeBron's getting the dub.
Clay, I'm struggling here because Brandon is going with Memphis plus the 4.5, but I do like your argument with the Lakers. And you know what? I'm looking at this ATS record for the Lakers when they are 4.5-point favorites or more at 9-5. I'm going to ride with that. Give me the Lakers. I think they steal this one, but I would not be surprised if the Grizzlies win this series, Clay. But for game 3, I will go with the Lakers minus 4.5. All right. A lot of disagreement in these games between you and Brandon. So we'll see what happens as we go forward through the weekend and check out the standings next week in the NBA playoffs. All right, my man, we've got time. So let's talk about it. The NFL draft. This is your bread and butter. And there are so many betting options out there. Let's start with the first overall pick in the NFL draft. And it sounds like it's not worth the bet anymore because of the news that Bryce Young canceled all of his meetings with teams after meeting with the Panthers. He is now minus 2,000 to be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. That means you have to pay Clay $2,000 just to make $100 in profit. Is there any value in CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson here?
No value. I think the ship has sailed. I mean, there's everybody that's close to the NFL says, "Hey, this is a done deal. They're going Bryce Young." I mean, if you want to just hammer down and take the risk, I mean, you put down if you have the disposable income. I think
Right.
it's Bryce Young. Like throw down the 10K to get a grand, or $500. But I wouldn't touch this. I think you'd be throwing away money to go anybody with Bryce Young. It's pretty much a done deal unless unless they're just putting up the Panthers are just putting up the best smoke screen I've ever seen in NFL history, which is possible. But all the players, all the big time hitters, everybody I've talked to is saying it's Bryce Young for sure.
Okay. So no value there, minus 2,000. I was just curious what your thoughts were with Bryce going number 1 overall. How about first defensive player to be drafted here? Will Anderson, some solid chalk here, minus 300. Tyree Wilson at plus 225. Jalen Carter is 6-1, which is interesting to me. Christian Gonzalez, 45-1, and then it gets fatter as the numbers go down the board here. Is it Will or bust?
No, I think Jalen Carter is still, he's the number 1 prospect on my board. He's the number 1 prospect on Pro Football Focus board. He is the number 1 player on a ton of boards, the number 1 guy. If these teams, if they took their visits, they talk to Jalen Carter and they think he's the right type of guy, you do your own personal evaluation of a guy. If you think he can fit in your locker room, he's the best player on the field. 6-1. There's a chance that a team loves his explanations, falls in love with this guy. Okay, he had some issues off the field. Obviously, the incident with the car, the speeding, okay, his pro day wasn't great, but, I still believe in this kid. Still believe he's the number 1 3 technique in the draft, number 1 defensive player in the draft, number 1 player in the draft. There's value there. A team could fall in love with Jalen Carter and take him. If I was betting this, I would go Jalen Carter or Christian Gonzalez because cornerback's a huge need. Some team could just say, hey, I need a cornerback. I think Christian Gonzalez is the number 1 cornerback on the board, and a team could pick him too. Will Anderson obviously is the odds-on favorite, but I don't think there's much value at minus 300 there. So I go Jalen Carter, and I think you can make a nice little boost there with that plus 600.
Just about a minute left here, Clay, to button things up. Trade rumors with Trey Lance. Do you think anything Trey Lance related will affect the draft? Maybe Houston trades for Lance and then they go defense at number 2, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. If a team that loved Trey Lance coming out obviously hasn't got a lot of NFL tape out there, they do their medical on him. They find out, hey, this guy can still play. Obviously, he had the ACL injury, but they think he's the guy that they thought when he was coming out in the draft. So now you can trade for Trey Lance and you have your first-round pick. I think it's a big possibility, and that can shake a lot of things up. I still like Lance. I liked him coming out of North Dakota State, right?
Yep.
I think he's North Dakota State product, Trey Lance, and that's my old football conference over there at Missouri State, the Missouri Valley Conference. And I think this could be a big move for someone if you're willing to make that move and now you can use your pick on something else. A lot of value
trade
there.
Back. Yeah.
Or absolutely. Trade back. Yeah, absolutely.
The NFL draft rumors continue to swirl. Clay Harbor is your guy for all of that insight. Clay, always a pleasure chatting with you on the program, my friend. Everybody out there, good luck to your bets this weekend. This has been Believe Me right here on Stadium. For Clay Harbor, I'm Cam Rogers. We will talk to you next week.